those are topics as well in Latvia which are important. About rules, especially for small countries, it's especially important. But they also ask me about double standards in Europe by saying there is almost none EU country, even Germany and others are failing to fulfill the Maastricht criteria. But if it's Lithuania who's failing 0.1% to enter the Eurozone, so is that a fair play? The big ones are allowed to do as they want. The small ones, especially if it's Eastern Europe, they are second-class citizens. This is the same as we have the British Islands who have, you said we need financial rules. We have, well, British government, what do they do, or what does the European Parliament do to have these offshore islands closed? Schröder is in Gazprom. Well, those are things which are rules and values which do not very much fit to the presentation which you had. And the second about the bipolar world, I think lots of people in Latvia were surprised about the results of the European Parliament elections, or not the Parliament elections, the European President elections, because it was seen as, again, and Latvians are quite sensitive about trading between parties, trading between the big countries, making some deals in some corridors and not having an open discussion about what are the values which we want to see from the European President, what are the values which we want to see in the European Commission. So what is your answer on this issue? Because I think the Social Democrats did not prefer, they were part of this trading as well about, okay, who's getting which post in which type, and the results, well, we can discuss whether they are the best success for Europe.
Difficult question to give a short answer, but there's a last question, and then we have to close the question.
Latvian Republic have some credits from European Union, from European Commission, and from International Monetary Fund. And my question is about relationships between International Monetary Funds and European Commission.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Das war der legitim, das
Martin.
Ja.
Möglich.
Ich gebe mir Mühe.
Well, I said was as short as possible. This is impossible, but he tries. As a real European, he tries the impossible.
I want to combine your question about the values of a government, the social democratic values, that our first goal must be to be in the service of the citizens. And the lie of the Greek government. I want to relate it to one of your questions. The double standards. Yeah, you are absolutely right. Some countries, like Latvia, or other countries in the Eurozone, demanding countries to the Eurozone, Lithuania the same, couldn't join it because 0.1% of the GDP was not enough, and Greece frauded the whole European Union with falsified figures. That's a double standard, yeah. I agree. It's absolutely inadmissible. And what the Greek governments, I speak in plural, what the Greek governments did is absolutely unacceptable, and it is a big damage to the citizens of the country. For this falsification, the citizens pay the price today. And therefore, governments lying to the international community, it is an absolutely unethical behavior. And independently done by social democrats or Christian democrats. I know very well that not only the Karamanlis government, also the predecessor of Mr. Karamanlis, who belonged to our political family, they didn't say the truth. And therefore I'm not here to defend social democracy as the better part of mankind. We are also normal people. And in our parties are also people too often and too much not respecting fundamental values. The difference between us and perhaps the other side is we speak openly about that. So it is an unethical behavior, completely unacceptable, and the damage to the fundamental values we consider as the basis of our action. Gerhard Schröder is not in Gazprom. I want to know. The reality is Gerhard Schröder is, as a former German chancellor, he was asked by German companies to clarify perhaps once, because Gerhard Schröder is a close friend of mine, and I was in my whole political life a fighter in the bureau of my party on the side of Gerhard Schröder. In my eyes, a great man of German politics. Can justify why I consider him as a historical person. The German no to the Iraq war and the risk of Gerhard Schröder to lose his job as chancellor by saying no to the Bush government and the intervention, which was a violation of international law in Iraq, which led to a disaster. The no in no other country was a higher risk than in Germany. The German-American special relationship, taking into account this no, was in my eyes a historical moment. I support it with all my means. And therefore, for me, Gerhard Schröder is a historical personality. He is the president of the surveying board of Nord Stream. Nord Stream belongs to 51% to Gazprom, 49% to BASF, Siemens, and the Dutch company. I don't know the name. Gazuni. And the German enterprises, BASF and Siemens, had a condition to join this joint venture enterprise, that a German is the president of the supervising board. That's the reason why Gerhard Schröder is on the demand of the German industry and not on the demand of Gazprom. But it is easy for the right wing in Europe to blame somebody who is taking responsibility for his country. Germany depends more than other countries from energy safety. It's easy to blame for the right wing press, especially such a man, to be paid by Gazprom. Okay? So Gerhard Schröder is not paid by Gazprom, he is paid by Nord Stream. And Nord Stream, as I said, belongs to 49% to Germany and the Dutch companies. Which is, by the way, a normal behavior, that the minority have the decisive vote in the supervisory board. Therefore, no double standards, I agree with you. And provoking answers to provoking questions. British Island and Offshore Centre. As a European federalist, I beg your pardon, you should be aware, more aware than perhaps others here in the room, that the European Parliament is asking, without interruption, to close the offshore centres. And I can tell you the group who is the leading in the debate, that's my group under my leadership. Therefore, I'm not prepared to take over the responsibilities for the right-wing policy in the European Union and the right-wing majority in the European Parliament, which is voting continuously against such initiatives. So, please, no double standards. I'm not responsible for the political standards of the other side of the political spectrum. What about the posts in the EU? I absolutely don't share your view. The European election happened in June last year. My group asked to the Council of Ministers to stop the negotiation behind closed doors and to postpone the vote about the Commission's president until the things about the president of the Council, the High Representative and the president of the Commission were made public. And we achieved. It was postponed. And we refused this approach of the conservative side in the Council, who said, we won the European election because the European People's Party is the strongest party in the European Parliament. My answer was, you are the strongest party with 35% of the seats. That means 65% of the seats are belonging to other parties. You cannot say we won the election.